Hi, welcome to my channel. If you get anything out of this video today, I would just love it if you hit like and subscribe, and also if you shared this video with someone who you thought might benefit from watching it, that would be absolutely awesome. It really helps me to reach more people. Anyways, what I really wanted to share today was just the sin that can easily creep into any Christian's life. And I feel like it's really not talked a lot about on people's channels, from what I've seen anyways, from people that I follow. And I just really wanted to be obedient in the things that I'm sharing, and honestly, this was something I didn't want to share. For one, it's something that I don't really personally struggle with, but it is something that I have been around a lot throughout my life, and it's something that just recently was a struggle. I want to get into it really in depth, and I'm not sure if I want to do a video series or just try to hit all of it right now. So I'm going to try to hit as much as I can right now, and if I feel really led to share more in depth, I'm definitely going to go that route as well. So what I wanted to talk about today is how easily a sin can creep into your life, and how we can really justify it by any means possible, really. But I'm just going to kind of lead into how this came about. So I guess what I wanted to start out with was just the fact that we all have areas of temptation, and you are never above an area of temptation. And I think that can really be dangerous if you think that you're above something, because that's where Satan can really get you a lot of times, because you have so much pride in an area where you're just like kind of above it, so that way when it comes at your door, you're like, oh, this isn't gonna tempt me. I'm so above this, there's no way that this will ever tempt me. And so what had happened is I was trying to research something that I should not have been researching, and the reason why I was trying to research it was because I wanted to make myself feel better about a situation that I shouldn't have been in to begin with. So what I did is I looked up a video where I was trying to just kind of prove a point, and it was a pornographic video. And in it, I was like, okay, this is stupid. I am just really disgusted with this. And then I wanted to just kind of forget about it, I guess. And then later on that night, I was like, I should do more research. And I realized that something that I had been a strong advocate against my entire life, something that I have really just said no to so many guys dating, so many relationships that have been destroyed that I know of because of pornography. All of a sudden, I had allowed it to be introduced into my own life. And I really was like struggling with, well, how could I be struggling with this? I was like, there's just no way that I can be struggling with this because I'm above it. I have never struggled with this. This isn't something that I've ever even looked at. How can I be struggling with this? And so it was really a terrible, terrible, terrible feeling because I felt like overcome by it. I felt like, okay, I'm just so above this that I can't let myself continue to think about this. So I prayed and I asked God, I was like, God, why am I struggling with this? Like, why do I have this attachment to this sin? And the Lord was just really quiet, like silent. And so then the next day, so that was the first day. So then the next day, I was like fine all day. And then again, like that night, I struggled with it again. And this time I was getting really irritated. I was like, okay, I can't let this in my life. Like, there's no way that I can allow this to penetrate into my mind. These are wicked things. These are evil things. And then that's when the Lord came. And God just really spoke so clearly to me, like, you thought you were above this sin, and you entered into something that you should have never entered into, even if you thought you were above it. It didn't give you the right to enter into that area just to research something or to prove a point. And like, that was super humbling. And also, I believe that God wanted me to see its addictive powers. Like, I knew that it was very addictive. I knew that it's like a drug. And so I just really want to get on here to, one, just share that it is a struggle that I know Christians go through. I think guys are the ones who are talked about a lot on this subject, but I believe that women struggle with it too. And I just wanted to get on here and share with you that you are not alone in the struggle. And just talking right now, I know I have to do more videos on this, so I'm not going to go over everything because I just feel there's more in depth that I have to go. But for this video, I want to encourage you with the fact that God, after that second day, like, completely took it away. And I think it was because I just gave my heart and my mind over to the Lord and said, listen, this cannot be in my life. Like, there's just no way. If I have to throw my phone away, if I have to just put my phone in another room to go to bed or whatever, like, there's just no way. I'm not going to allow this into my life. And I think to have obedience to follow the Lord, it has to be radical obedience. It can't just be like a half-hearted, I'm just going to hope that this goes away and hope that I stop struggling with this and hope that the Lord will help me. It's such a half-hearted prayer. If you are truly wanting something out of your life, like, you have to cut it out no matter what the cost is. And I know that might sound super dramatic, but I truly believe that if you are wanting to overcome the sin of pornography, like, you absolutely 110% have to do whatever God lays on your heart that you have to do. And it might be admitting it to certain people. It might be telling someone, like a spouse or an accountability partner, that you struggle with it. It may be just getting rid of your television or cable or wherever it is where you find yourself really struggling. If you have a laptop in your room and you have roommates, then just to bring your laptop out and do your work in an open area where people can see what you're on. it's just that added accountability and that openness to be transparent with what you're struggling with. The Bible is very clear about bringing things into the light. Like, Satan wants you to keep your sin in darkness, and that's where he can really control you. That's where he can bring condemnation and shame on you. And I think that's another reason why I really wanted to share this video, because I just saw how quickly, like, my mind went to that I was a terrible person. How quickly my mind went, like, you have lived your whole life never looking at this, and you just let it in so easily. And I was just like, okay, God, you want me to shed a light to people who are struggling with this, and you want me to bring hope into someone's life who's maybe struggled with this a very long time. And I think if you are struggling with this particular sin right now, I just want to let you know that the Lord has victory for you. There is no sin that is in your life that the Lord cannot bring victory in. It's absolutely 110% overcomable. I'm pretty sure that's a word. And another thing that I wanted to just brush on really quickly, and this is why I think I need to do more videos too, just because there's so much to talk about on this subject, but one thing I really wanted to talk about pornography is that it's like a drug that always needs a higher high. What you looked at once is not going to be satisfying a week later, or even maybe a couple days later. What was exciting to look at one time is not going to be exciting to look at the next time. And then it just escalates. It escalates to you wanting to do things that are really unnatural to do. And one of the things that I was thinking about is how there's nothing new under the sun. Like, there's no new sins. And I think kind of the draw of pornography for most people is that they kind of get to live out a fantasy that they're not living in real life, or they're seeing something that in their natural selves they wouldn't really do. And that's where Satan really pulls you in with this sin. But there's never going to be an image or a scene that is new that you haven't seen before. And I think, like, that's where Satan can really get you. He wants to get you and think, oh, well, I just need to watch this because I'm going to see something that I've never seen before. And I think that's really the pull, like, oh, if I just watch this next video, I'm going to see something that I've never seen before, or I'm going to get something out of this that I haven't got before. And it's really like, I think that's kind of the addictiveness of it. But when you kind of look at it in the sense that there's nothing new, like, no matter how many videos you watch, you're going to have to get more. It's so addictive to where you're gonna have to get more. And just to have the mindset, like, every time I watch these videos, there's nothing new. Like, it may, like, there might be initial shock of what you're watching, but then it's like, oh, well, that's not that new. I've seen something similar, or I've seen something like this, or I've seen something like that. And it's so destructive. It's so destructive because when you have that mentality, it's just like you'll never be satisfied. It's like you're in sinking sand, and the more you're moving, like the more you're consuming, the deeper you sink into it. And it's like if you just like would stay still and stop moving, stop consuming, you would be able to look at it and say, this is killing me. This is sinking me deeper into a sin that I will never be able to fully get rid of these images in my mind. I know that the Lord can help you. He can heal you. He can help you get rid of these thoughts. But ultimately, the more you consume pornography, the more those thoughts like flash in your mind, the more you think about them whenever you're bored or whenever you're alone by yourself. And I think for you just to stop and think, how deep do I want to go before I'm completely engulfed in this sin and it has completely taken over my life? And maybe you're in that spot right now. Maybe you feel like pornography has absolutely taken over your life and you don't know how to get out of it, and you just feel like you're consumed by it. The first thing I want to really encourage you with is that the Lord wants to help you. And I know you may be saying, well, I've asked God to help me. I've asked the Lord to heal me of this sin. And I just want to really encourage you, have you asked him and done what he told you to do? I'm going to say that again. Have you asked him and have you done what he told you to do? If the Lord has asked you to remove something out of your life or to do something and you've said, no, that's too hard, then you're not really wanting to obey the Lord. You're not really wanting to get rid of this in your life. So I think just be honest with yourself and tell yourself, if you really want to get over it, that you are going to do what God asks you to do, no matter what. And two, one of the things that I believe is incredibly helpful is, don't think if you fail that the Lord cannot help you back up again. We have like this mentality, and I know it's an attack from Satan, that if we've asked the Lord to help us and we've really done good for a little while and then you fall back into that sin, you just think that you're a terrible person, that there's no way that God could forgive you again because you've failed. You've already failed and you failed again. You might go through a year or 2 years where you're battling, and I want to give you just a picture to think about if you're in that spot of where you just feel like you've been battling the sin for a long time. I want to give you the picture of a bodybuilder. I lift weights all the time and I'm super into bodybuilding, but one of the things is when you first start going to the gym, you're very weak. And the more that you put into going to the gym, the more your body is going to change and the stronger you're going to get. But it takes years of building that strength. It takes years of dedication. And so I just want to encourage you, if you're trying to get strong and overcoming a sin, you have to know it's going to require you putting work in, and it's going to require you coming back even when you fail, even when you mess up and you just feel like you can never overcome it. That's a lie from the enemy. You can overcome it. It just requires work. And we're so used to being in a society where everything is given to us that we just want it so easily. And God is saying to his people, like, we've got to work. We've got to fight for things. We can't just expect it to be handed to us. And so I just really want to encourage you, keep fighting against the sin. Don't just say, oh, well, I've fallen for the 30th time this year and there's no way that I can overcome this. That's a lie. You can overcome it. And just ask the Lord to continue to help you battle against this sin. And it is a sin. It's a sin that is against your own body. The Bible warns against sexual sin. Every other sin a man commits against it's not against his body, but when a man does sexual sin, it's against his body, and that is where the Holy Spirit dwells. It says your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, and that's why that sexual sin, I believe, is so destructive, because it's destroying you. It's destroying the things that God has for you to build within yourself. And I do believe that's why Satan tries so hard to attack you in the area of sexual sin. He tries to just make it so desirable, so wonderful, so like, oh, this isn't gonna hurt anyone, this is gonna give so much benefit to me. But over and over again, people who have come out of pornography addictions just say how much it stole from them and how much it disconnected them from a real relationship, and how it just made them feel empty when you think that it's going to make you feel full. And I just know that for myself, I just felt so terrible. And I know it's probably because I hadn't really been super desensitized to it, but I think even if you've been doing it for a long time, you would still feel terrible. Like, there's still the Holy Spirit in you, even if you have been partaking in this particular sin. The Lord is just wanting you to run to him. He's wanting you to flee this sin. So I think I'm gonna stop it there. I really want to go more in depth of how to overcome it, but I just wanted to share this video just initially to let you know that you're not alone in this attack. It's an attack from the enemy, and you can overcome it. The Lord has a victory for you, and today might be the day where you just step out and say, Lord, I'm going to do what you've asked me to do to overcome this sin. And I hope that you come back for more encouragement for Christian singles, and yeah, have a blessed day.